Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. No.
Welcome back. The monumental awaits the above.
Yeah, the monumental. I know. Yeah, we know. Excuse me.
The monumental will explain the nexus to thee.
Yeah. Wisdom. Yo, what's up with that? They talk to her first? There's always a fucking, something's weird. That's weird. It's very strange.
We have long awaited you, slayer of demons. I am one of the monumentals. We preserve the fabric of reality. There is a tale I wish to tell you. Once, we too a scourge of demons faced. the distant past, under benevolent rule, the world was united
under benevolent rule.
Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless, deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to its slumber, yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and most of the world lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what lands still remained, we entrusted 6 leaders with 6 precious archstones, one to the king of a small yet industrious land.
Oh.
One to the king of the burrowers underground. One to the wise queen of the great ivory tower. One to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls. One to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen. And the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones were placed in the four chambers that survived. We contained the Old One here below the Nexus, and prohibited the soul arts. Finally, we became monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other monumentals have perished, and only I remain.
Didn't see the real. I'm still waiting for the answer. All right.
Now it is your turn.
Okay.
You must lull the Old One back to its slumber,
Okay.
and seal it away for all eternity. If not, the deep fog will absorb all that we know. Have you the strength to bear this burden?
I think so.
Yes. We are fortunate
I think so.
indeed to have you. Now,
I agree, you are
go
fortunate
forth and
to
destroy
have such a
every
fucking
last
a
demon.
hero like me.
The Old One, without demons to feed its souls, will a new servant seek and lure you to its bosom.
Alright, that's it with this punk. There's the one item down there for sure, but there should also be a stone of fucking ephemerolum or whatever the hell it's called. This thing. Stone ephemeralized. There should also be one up here. There should also be one up here. Up, right. Oh, wow, okay, maybe that's why I haven't told yet. I don't know, but there should be one over here. Was very strange. Very fucking strange, man. She was right here. Some bullshit. It's some real bullshit, man. What's he saying? What's going on?
Erica Kirk, the widow of slain MAGA influencer Charlie Kirk, and now perhaps the most revered figure in the MAGA movement outside of Donald Trump, is trending today for all the wrong reasons. This after she did something that left a room full of MAGA influencers stunned, and I have all the details for you next. I'm Dan, and welcome to another Occupy Democrats video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe so you don't miss any of our reports about the oddness, chaos, and corruption that comes out of Trump world. Let's first set the stage for this story. The Kirk's Turning Point organization is hosting the annual AmFest this weekend. It's part fireworks-infused revival and part MAGA influencer convention. If I told you that attendance includes the opportunity to have a selfie taken under a replica of the assassination tent, you might think I'm being satirical. Think again.
And you can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University in September. And people are taking selfies with it.
I have no words, so let's dive into our featured story that hinges on one particular word that keeps following Erica Kirk on her sparkly tour of grief.
She is a grifter, and just look at the costume changes. Look at the costume changes. Look at the affect and how she does that. It's wild. This woman should be kicked to the curb. She is an absolute grifter, just like Donald Trump and just like her unrepentant, racist, homophobic husband was. This is intentional weaponization of her gender and her faith.
Everyone grifts differently, as they say. Erica Kirk has been on more press stops in the last 3 months than most celebrities manage in a year. Snooze, Hannity, The Five, Fox and Friends, Outnumbered, Megyn Kelly, the New York Times Deal Book Summit, a $10,000 a plate fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago, and a 100,000 person memorial 11 days after her husband died. A book tour, a CEO announcement 8 days after his death. And the immediate assumption is this has got to be about money. She's cashing in, which sure, monetizing her late husband's death. She saw an opportunity and she took it. Sure, the money is definitely real. The fundraising and the book sales are also real. But if you think this is just about money, you're missing the actual story. What Erica Kirk is doing is not just building. She is building something way more dangerous. We knew Kirk's death was the uncorking of a new level of political violence. But we did not expect this. We did not expect what she would do with this. And real quick, I am Lauren Paritra. The only way we counter voices like Lopez and the grift is to make sure better voices are getting heard. For somebody whose whole message is that women should just be at home with their children, making more children, she sure spends a whole lot of time not being home with her own children. And can we talk about the constant looking up to the sky thing? Every interview, every speech, her and her little raccoon eyes tilts her head back like Charlie's about to parachute down from heaven. It's weird.
Grift is a big accusation, and it would have to be the farthest thing from her mind while addressing the faithful at the most important event of the year, right? Well, you would think so, but in what is now the Freudian slip of the year, she reveals that the word is actually top of her mind.
Despite the devastating loss of Charlie Kirk, my incredible husband at UVU, Caleb has persisted with the same grift.
What?
Persisted with the same gift. Grit. It has been a long day. Trust me, you're not a grifter, honey. It's all good.
I think the slip-up reveals that Erica has been watching the same videos you just watched, and I'll let you decide for yourself if the grifting shoe fits. And I'll leave you with one more clip. She's an influencer I discovered while researching this story, and I found her thoughts about Erica to be salient and worth sharing.
Can't lie. Because when your puppy starts looking like an Adam and Eve commercial, hey, that's branding. And it's gross. And the wild part is she's not being objectified. She's participating. She's found her place in the performance. The beautiful believer, the holy widow, the vessel for the message. The Kirk figured out how to turn devotion to influence. Not the loud kind. The curated, powerful kind. You know, the one that makes far-right politics look gentle. But she wraps white Christian nationalism in soft femininity, in perfectly timed tears and God's plan captions. And the people around her are eating it up. Because every movement like this needs a face. Someone who makes extremism look nurturing instead of dangerous. She's not on stage with men like J.D. Vance by accident. She's there because she makes his ideology look marketable. She's proof that the patriarchy will always find a woman to front the campaign. But real talk, since her husband died, she's been everywhere. Podcasts, conferences, stages. Grieving publicly in a way that doesn't feel accidental. Because grief sells when it looks holy. When it sounds like faith instead of fury. That hug with Donald Trump, that wasn't a spiritual moment. That was a moment designed to make people feel safe with him. Because nothing says redemption like a woman weeping in your arms, right? And whether she realizes it or not, she's become the emotional shield of the movement. She absorbs the criticism, softens the image, right? She sanctifies the message. So here's the thing, Erica Kirk is not naive.
Erica Kirk, the widow of slain MAGA influencer Charlie Kirk, and now perhaps the most revered figure in the MAGA movement outside of Donald Trump, is trending today for all the wrong reasons. This after she did something that left a room full of MAGA influencers stunned, and I have all the details for you next. I'm Dan, and welcome to another...
I said it before, I'll say it again. Kramnik can go fuck himself. Like, I'll just say it. He can go fuck himself and he can rot in hell. That's all I'm going to say, okay?
One of the brightest lights the chess community has ever seen, Daniel Naroditsky. He has unfortunately passed away. I didn't dive into the nitty-gritty of one very unsavory character, Vladimir Kramnik, and his role in some unfortunate times Daniel was going through. Today, I saw a statement from Vladimir Kramnik, and I just can't bite my tongue any longer. I cannot stand this man. I can't stand the things he says. I can't stand what he's become. I can't stand to even look at him. Just look at this. This is him playing chess, but it looks like I'm looking through the webcam of a creep in the process of deleting their browser history. Vlad Big Bad Kramnik has been on this crusade in the chess community where he has been just willy-nilly tossing out cheating allegations, seemingly at random sometimes. And he was posting these allegations against Daniel Naroditsky of cheating, these allegations that he was a dishonest player. Daniel was someone who cared very deeply about his reputation, so when someone with the prestige of Kramnik is coming out saying these horrible things, it obviously took a toll on his mental health, and it is something he was vocal about. There was never any evidence or anything at all to support Kramnik's allegations at any point in time. It was completely baseless. It was fucking disgusting. And I'm going to show you a brief clip of Daniel talking about it 11 months ago.
But this is a sustained, evil, and absolutely unhinged attempt to destroy my life. And I really don't, I'm tired of mincing words at this point. He is trying to ruin my life. He's trying to inflict emotional harm, physical harm to me. It's exactly what he's doing. And this is one of the most wicked people that I've ever dealt with. I'm not trying to seek attention with this, but the people who are buying into this narrative, they exist at many levels, including at the very top level. And they include a large number of chess fans. Like, this is doing very serious damage and actual damage. It's not just like bots or, Russian spies who are believing Kramnik. He has a lot of authority. He's a fucking world champion.
Evil really is a great word for Kramnik. And I'm sure if you've paid attention recently, you've probably seen some of the top players come out to try and get some change here and get some accountability for what Kramnik has been doing. He has been completely out of control. He's a feral fucking animal. And he is still somehow trying to make himself the victim and how everyone else is the bad guy, and he's actually like the angel of the chess community. There are very few souls on this planet that genuinely view Kramnik positively. Even some of the best players in the world outright show their disdain for this creature. Hikaru recently had this to say about Kramnik.
I said it before, I'll say it again. Kramnik can go fuck himself. Like, I'll just say it. He can go fuck himself and he can rot in hell. That's all I'm gonna say, okay?
The sentiment shared by some of the actual best players.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the Austin Powers movie? Well, one of the actors is now in prison for life. And it all starts with this 19-year-old woman. And we don't know her name, so we'll just call her Shelley. And one night, it's Christmas Eve, 1990. Shelley is driving home from a night out. And once she arrives, she gets out of the car, and then a strange man approaches her, and he asks her for direction. And before Shelley can really answer, boom, the man pulls out a pew-pew. And then another man comes out of the shadows, and pow, they grab her, and both of them start beating her up. And then bam, they knock her unconscious. And then they pick her up, and they throw her into the back of a van they're driving that's parked nearby, and the van speeds away. And for the next few hours, the men do horrible things to Shelley in the back of that van. And I won't get into details, but it's a lot of SA and torture. And when they're done, they kick her out of the van and they flee, disappearing into the night. And Shelley reports them to the police, and they get some composite sketches of the men, but that's all they can do. I mean, the men got away, and poor Shelley is left feeling absolutely hopeless. And 4 years go by, and the men still haven't been identified or caught. Now, one of those guys, his name is Joe-san. And Joe-san's 20 years old, and he's clearly a violent guy. So around this time, he starts a career in MMA. Like, he works out, and he trains, and he goes to tournaments, and he actually competes.
Hi, my name's Joe-san. I'm coming from Beach, California. The Lord says, not by my might or my strength, but with my spirit.
And interestingly enough, his whole gimmick is that he's this big Christian martial artist.
You guys will see the spirit of the Lord of Jesus Christ tonight.
And he's like very theatrical about it. Like, he walks out to the ring carrying a big-ass cross on his back. Like, it's very over the top. Anyway, I actually have some footage of a professional fight that he competed in, and you can see him right here. He's obviously the guy in red getting tossed around. And after about 2 minutes and 45 seconds, the other guy gets him down, chokes him out, and you can see him right here tapping out. But I guess Jesus isn't with him that night, because he loses that fight. But anyway, around this time, I guess he decides that he really likes the spotlight, because that is when he gets into acting. Like, he goes out and he works hard and he auditions, and he eventually lands a small role in an episode of a TV show called Reasonable Doubts. Pretty cool. And right after that, he lands a role in a B movie starring Dolph Lundgren.
He doesn't drive. You're not a killer. I am too funny.
Then he lands a role in another movie called Shoot Fighter starring William Zabka. Then it's a role in Blood Fist Part 5. And I have no idea what these movies are, but, like, he's in them. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but in every single movie he's casted, he's the villain. Maybe it's just, like, the way he looks. Maybe it's because he's a bad guy in real life. I don't know. But whatever. The acting thing seems to be working out for him. Because after that, he gets another role, and then another role, and then another one. But then, one day, he gets a really big break. He auditions for a new big-budget comedy, a movie starring Mike Myers called Austin Powers. And he plays the part of Dr. Evil's henchman, Random Task.
Random Task. Also from
really hurt. Who builds a shoe? Honestly. And it's not a lead role, but this is a huge deal for him. But all that spotlight and exposure for an actor, you would think that things would take off for him. For some reason, they really don't. Like, maybe he quit, maybe he just didn't get cast in anything else, I don't know. But he actually has no more film or TV credits after that. Regardless, he's still not ready to give up the spotlight. Because a few years later, he returns to MMA fighting. And he gets back in the ring, and he loses. And then he loses again, and then he loses again. Ultimately, he ends his professional MMA career with a record of 0-4. Womp womp. And then about 6 years go by, and apparently Joe still has some of that fighter left in him. Because one night, and we don't know what the details are, but he gets into it with his roommate, because I guess he has a roommate. And Joe-san ends up getting so mad at the roommate that he walks up to the roommate's car, and then boom, boom, he straight up kicks the car door in. Of course, can't be doing that. That's frowned upon. And he gets reported to the police, and so, bam, they arrest him. Here's the thing, though. Joe-san ends up taking a plea deal, and he spends a few months in jail for felony vandalism. But whatever. He'll serve his time, and he'll get out, and he'll go back to his normal life. Yeah, no big deal. Until... So Joe-san took a plea deal, right? And as part of his plea deal, the state requires him to submit a DNA sample, which Joe-san has never done before. And so police, they take his DNA sample, and it's routine that they run the sample through their database. So they run their sample through the database, and holy shit, it comes back as a match to a really old cold case from Christmas Eve, 1990. See, all those years ago, Joe-san and the other guy kidnapped Shelly, and they did horrible things to her in the back of that van, but they didn't unalive her. They let her go. And so, of course, Shelly reported it to the police, and they came up with some composite sketches, but they're also able to collect some DNA samples, which was a fairly new technology at that time. Police added those DNA samples to their database, but at the time, they had no one to match the DNA to. And so those samples sat in their database for almost 20 years, until there's suddenly a match for Joe-san. And so, bam, police arrest him. There's his mugshot.
Joe-san's in trouble.
Actor, who's probably best known for his role in the movie Austin Powers, was in front of a judge once again today.
And so police question him, and Joe-san, he denies doing anything wrong, but he's certainly happy to tell them all about his acting.
And you said that you were an actor.
I do comedy, play bad guys. Part one. Okay. You can find me at Wikipedia.
And he actually legitimately does have a Wikipedia page, by the way. Anyway, so police have Joe-san, but he isn't admitting to anything. He doesn't care what DNA evidence they have. He ain't talking. And so police are like, all right, we'll just find your accomplice. Because remember, there were 2 men that attacked Shelly that night. And so now that they have Joe-san in custody, they start looking at his social circle, his old friends, his friends of friends, and they end up finding a guy who looks somewhat like an older version of the composite drawing they got from back in the day. And that guy is this guy, Santiago. And so they bring Santiago in and they question him, and he doesn't admit to anything either. But then they get a DNA sample from him too. Of course, his DNA matches the DNA they collected from the crime scene back in 1990. And so, they arrest him. Here's his shot. And Santiago eventually caves, and he ends up confessing to the crime, which then really screws Joe-san over because it implicates him as well. Regardless, Joe-san is found guilty, and he's sentenced to prison time, and while he's in prison, he ends up unaliving his cellmate. And so they sentence him to more time. So now he's serving 34 years to life, while Santiago gets 17 years in prison. And after having waited almost 20 years to find these guys, Shelly finally gets the justice she deserves. Good for her. And a huge shout out to Leonardo.ai for sponsoring this video. If you make videos and you want to make really bad for those videos, like this, like look at how cool that is. Sign up for Leonardo.ai. You remember the Austin Powers movies? Well, one of the actors is now in prison for life. And it all starts with this 19-year-old woman. And we don't know her name, so we'll just call her Shelly. And one night, it's Christmas Eve, 1990. Shelly is driving home from a night out. And once she arrives, she gets out of her car, and a strange man approaches her, and he asks her for directions. And before Shelly can really answer, boom, the man pulls out a pew-pew. And then another man comes out of the shadows, and pow, they grab her, and both of them start beating her up. And then bam, and then they pick her up, and they throw her into the back of a van they're driving that's parked nearby. And the van speeds away.
Yeah, we don't need to hear this again.
We have some purple sausage and meatloaf, the best meatloaf.
Here are the top 10 Game Boy Advance games of all time.
Alright, well, I'm going to get 3, which is alright, you know what?
Mario Land 4. This
you know what? Let's go to the first page. And let's, we're going to have a midway of all this fucking videos, right? See what he's talking about. Let's get some pretty cool riffs, guys.
Here are the greatest PlayStation 2 games of all time, according to fans of the PS2.
I don't know what fans, but let's hear it.
Square Disney of Final Fantasy characters.
It's Disney, they did a great job.
The idea is crazy, but because Square is so good at what it does, the story is are top notch. This game touched a lot of people out there.
Yeah, it did. That's why I'm surprised it isn't higher.
Including ones from Pirates of the Caribbean, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and Mulan that never had been improved. They also made the gummy ship sequences better, a statement that will only make sense if you have played the game. There is still debate better, but regardless, they both made a big splash. So how did I come up with this list? I went to 2 places where people were listed. I found 116 such lists, and I plugged them into a spreadsheet. I also absorbed this massive but I shrunk it so that it only made 20% of the results. I did not use AI in any way. It was a manual process. Not factored in. The rankings you see are simply an average of everyone's top 10 lists. If your favorite game is not on this list, there are 4,000 games on the PS2, and that's a lot of fucking games. So there's going to be a lot of bangers that are Vice City. This was originally supposed to be a set of expanded missions for Grand Theft Auto 3, but it developed and you play as a newly arrived mobster, Tommy Vercetti. It was the first time in the series that a voice actor. It's the internet's fault. It also made improvements to the weapon targeting and driving mechanics. The city layout is considered detailed, colorful, and full of 1980s flavor. In the end, players ate it up, and they bought 17 Here are the greatest PlayStation 2 games of all time, according to fans of the PS2. Continuing from part 1, we have number 7, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. Just like its predecessor on the PS1,
Make sure man to fill up.
Just about everything has been improved. Most notably, the enemies are smarter now. There's also many who feel that the subject matter is still relevant today. The story involves AI, social engineering, censorship, social media, and conspiracy theories. Number 6, God stories of Greek and Roman mythology had monsters, had bosses, had secret items, had magic, had combat, so it's an easy source of material. And God of War is a perfect example. At its core, it's a beat 'em up, but with your blades on chains, it becomes something of its own. Never gets old, and the music and epic storyline make it feel like a movie. It is unapologetically violent, and that's probably Britain. This is a wild and crazy set of mini-games based on the British sketch comedy show of the same name.
What?
Became
This ain't real.
Entire parties organized around it.
Come on.
Actually, this is a fake out. I put these in my top 10s to lighten up the mood.
So Little Britain does not belong on this list, and it probably wasn't played in dorms. Number 5 is actually Shadow of the Colossus. They're the girl who has died, and in order to bring her back, you have to defeat 16 gigantic colossi. She must have owed him money or something. Essentially, the game is nothing but boss fights, which makes the game different. And that's the main appeal here. People also enjoy the overall look of the countryside and the different structures. The whole thing is considered a work of art by many. The sound design is often cherished, and that it has environmental noises, giving players the feeling of loneliness. Number 4, Resident Evil 4. Up to this point, the Resident Evil series had been going on for roughly 10 years with pretty much the same formula. It was in need of a serious reset, and that's what they did with 4 here. Gone are the fixed camera angles, and instead we get an over-the-shoulder view. Inventory management is much more manageable. Combat has changed, allowing you to deal damage more precisely, and the enemies themselves are a lot smarter than they were in previous entries. The series is still going strong today, and it's because of this game. See more of the list in part 3. Continuing from part 1, we have number... Continuing from part 1, we have numbers. Continuing from part 2, we have numbers. This time the game takes place in several West Coast cities during the 1990s. It is the third GTA title, and is considered a beast of a game. The map is 6 times larger than the one in Grand Theft Auto 3. Improvements over the prior 2 games. Vehicles, better car customization, a better road system, better minigames, better clothing selection, an immersive experience. Before we get to numbers 2 and 1, let's do some honorable mentions. These are games that barely missed. God of War 2, Dragon Quest 8, Journey of the Cursed King, Def Jam, Fight for New York, Final Fantasy 12, and finally, WWE SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. And now for some honorable mentions. Like I said before, there are over 4,000 games, so it's a safe bet that these games here are still bangers. 2. Final Fantasy X. Let's get all the typical things out of the way. Good graphics, good music, good story, good characters. Including a mini-game called Blitzball. The main protagonist happens to be a professional blitzball player, which is interesting. But what most people think is the which takes place. Spira. The developers went out of their way to flesh it out, making it feel like a real place and a unique and exciting. This game ended up selling 8 million copies, which smashed expectations and facilitated the creation of a direct sequel, Final Fantasy X-2, and the number 1 greatest game on the PS2, according to fans, Metal Gear Solid 3.
That's legit.
This one takes place during the 1960s and serves as a prequel to all the other Metal Gear games. It mostly takes place in the jungle and introduces new games. Here are the top 10 Atari 2600 games of all time, according to fans of the 2600. Number 10, Ms. Pac-Man. This port of the arcade hit came to the 2600 in 1982 and was an instant classic. To this day, it is one of the best examples of an arcade port that is, quote, faithful. It has nice sound effects and music to go along with it. The game shines even more compared to the Pac-Man port that came out previously, which had drab colors, flickering ghosts, just one maze, and sounds that were more primitive. It was also limited by the 4K of memory. This Pac-Man had 8K of memory. Number 9, Asteroids. Here's another solid arcade port, which also had 8K of memory on the board. Your objective is simple. near the screen of the asteroids, and then the next screen, and the next screen, and so on. Satellites and UFOs will occasionally enter the playfield and spray gold in all directions. There's a certain rhythm to this game, which is driven home by the rhythmic tune, which sounds similar to a heartbeat, or perhaps it's more like the musical score from the movie. Like many of the 2600 games, this one had a lot of variations built in. 33 of them, which alter various aspects of the game, such as the players, the speed of the asteroids, when extra lives are awarded, and what special features you can activate by pressing down on the joystick. For those of you who are wondering how I went without this list, I sourced it from an active 20-year-old forum post on the Atari Age website. That forum asks users to name their top 10 games.
Yeah, we got it. Got it! With a small scale.
Over all those years. Even Metal Jesus himself has contributed to the conversation. And just to give you an idea of the sample size, the number one game I show you today has 145 votes on that post. Number 8, Space Invaders. Another wonderful arcade conversion of a hit game. Also yet another game where you have to clear the board of something. It's invaders who are trying to get down to the planet. If one does touch down, it's game over, even if you have lives left. Much like asteroids, there is a rhythm that plays, but it speeds up as you clear out the invaders. There's 122 game variations, a monstrous amount, and those open up all kinds of features to experiment with. For example, one variation allows 2 players to control the same ship. One moves right and the other moves left. One thing about the legacy of Space Invaders is that it helped popularize the space shooter genre on the 2600. See more of the list in part 2. Here are the top 10 Atari 2600 games of all time, according to fans of the 2600. Number 10, Ms. Pac-Man. This port of the arcade hit came to the 2600 in 1982 and was an instant classic. To this day, it is one of the best examples on the system of an arcade port that is, quote, faithful. It has nice sound effects, and continuing from part 1, we have number 7, Yar's Revenge. It was supposed to be a port of the arcade game Star Castle, but programmer Howard Scott Warshaw took it in a different direction during development. Different is the key word here. This game resembles nothing else on the system, and that's one of the reasons it's so beloved. What you have to do is shoot or eat away the blocks to expose the enemy within it, which in turn you have to shoot with your cannon. A small little dot chases you around, keeping you on your toes. The word Yars is based on the name of Atari's CEO at the time, Ray Kassar. It's Ray spelled backward. Number 6, Hero. This third-party game made by Activision is rather uncommon, but it has slowly become more popular over time. The premise is that you have to descend into some mining shafts in order to rescue miners who are trapped. You have abilities to work with. You can lay down sticks of dynamite to take down walls. You can shoot a tiny laser to take out enemies, and you can hover upward when you regret where you have descended to. All these things add a puzzle-like element to the game. There's one miner in each stage, and as the stages progress, the mines get more complicated in terms of layout, and it also throws new obstacles at you. It's a very good game. Number 5, Missile Command. The fear of nuclear war was a very prevalent theme of the early 1980s, and both the arcade game of Missile Command and this port of it captures that fear perfectly. Your goal is to keep your 6 cities from being nuked. Enemy missiles will start to trail down from the top of the screen, and you have to take them out before they reach the cities, or your ammo supplies. Your weapon creates explosions, but there's a delay between the time you press the fire button to the time the explosion happens. The key is to get that timing correct. Once your last city is destroyed, a final planet-wide explosion signals your failure.
If only something could be done. Best of luck to you.
And number 4, Sneak and Peek. No, I'm just kidding. Number 4 is actually
for whom death
River Raid.
is prithee.
It only takes a few seconds of playing this one
This
to
game
figure
is
out
good.
why it's so highly regarded. It's a fully functional scrolling shoot 'em up
It's a great
on a
game.
system that shouldn't really be able to handle such a thing. By pushing forward or back, you can control the speed of your plane.
It was a
To
good
avoid
game.
collisions, you need to quickly determine which enemies are stationary and which ones are moving. If you want to introduce a young person to the Atari 2600, I think this is the perfect game to show them. See more of the
Great
list
game.
in part 3. Continuing from part 2, we have number 3, Adventure. Perhaps the most perfectly named Atari 2600 game. This one helped establish the adventure genre in gaming. Yes, it may look blocky and barren, but it has a lot going on. You travel from screen to screen, going through mazes, and avoiding dragons, which literally eat you. The ultimate goal is to find a chalice and bring it to your home castle. Besides the chalice, there are many other items laying around that have various uses, one of which can be used to kill the dragons. Game Variations 3 is considered the best one because it randomizes the starting locations of the items. Adventure is also one of the first games to have an Easter egg in it. I won't spoil it by showing it, but basically there's a series of actions you can perform, which opens up a secret room with some text. Number 2, Pitfall 2 Lost Caverns. After the first Pitfall sold millions of copies,
Pitfall was amazing.
wanted to make a sequel, but he felt the 2600 had become outdated, and so he created his own custom chip to put inside the Pitfall 2 cartridge. That chip expanded what you could normally do when programming a game. This allowed him to create this massive platformer, which has a variety of enemies, checkpoints, water effects, and a long and winding set of caverns to traverse and explore. Here's a few honorable mentions that just missed being in the top 10.
Hello.
Hi.
What's up?
Nothing. I'm just getting back to the area. I'm gonna go home.
Why? What are you doing?
I had to go to Revere. The one place was quick. Second place was quick. Fucking the pastry place took like fucking almost an hour.
Okay.
I was like 12 numbers in, and then, you know, I gotta still go home and do a bunch of shit at my house. So I told her I want her to shower and wash her hair so that I don't have to bring shampoo and conditioner to your house. She wants to shower in the morning. She can at your house, but I want her to wash her hair tonight, right now. And then I told her I got her a croissant yesterday, but she's laying in bed.
Okay.
So I told her that once she takes a shower and eats that food, I'll bring her over to your house, and then I'm gonna come back to the house and wrap some of the shit that I don't want her to see.
Okay.
Wait, what?
No, nothing. I didn't know if we're going to try to. I mean, I haven't wrapped anything, and I didn't know if you were trying to sneak it over and just put it in the bottom stairs, and then we wrap it later.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna wrap some stuff, and then I'm gonna bring some stuff to your house and wrap some more stuff. Like, I can't wrap any of the Santa stuff.
Well, that's what I mean. I didn't know, like, if you're going to have to sneak it into the bedroom downstairs, we're going to have to wrap it when she goes to bed or whatever. No?
No, I'll just tell you guys to go play, you know, like you.
Yeah, we could be up here playing a game, and you can be down there wrapping, I guess, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
I mean, I'm not wrapping everything, but, you know.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm still waiting on fucking, like, 3 things to come today.
Yeah. But, like, you know, I got to go through. I don't, honestly, you know, I buy stuff in the closet. I would like to, like, take it all out and look at it. I'm not bringing Jalea and Braylon things over there. I got to deal with that stuff. You know, I told her, I'm on my way to the house. I got to bring the food upstairs. I got to bring stuff upstairs. Like, I can't bring the wrapping paper out of the car because there's Santa wrapping paper, and I don't want her to see it before tomorrow. So
Yeah. All right, well, just call me.
I'll touch base with you. I'm giving you a heads up, like, if you're smoking in the house or whatever, just, you know, so that you can have a window open so it airs out. She doesn't walk into a puff cloud of smoke. Have you watered the tree recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's fine. I got a vacuum down there, though. I mean, you know, the needles, every time I go in, needles fall off. There's a bunch of needles on the ground, but, I mean, I just got to basically sweep up the kitchen and wipe the counters down a little, and then the kitchen's fine. And then if I vacuum the living room, then the needles should be fine.
All right, well, I'm guessing, you know, probably not sooner than an hour for her because she moves slow.
So, yeah, call me in an hour.
probably got like, I'm guessing you have like a 2-hour window before I bring her over there.
Okay.
So you can get those things done before last minute.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't make pizza. If you have any frozen pizza, I got pizza.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't have really much here, but I bought a bunch of pepperonis because I was going to go get cheese, but then I don't have a car now, so I wasn't able to get cheese. But I got 2 huge packs of pepperoni. I didn't know if, like, you guys wanted to do pepperoni with cheese on some crackers, just, like, stuff to, I didn't know.
I mean, I have cheese, I have that. I mean, I could probably, I will look at my cabinets. I don't know what I have for crackers.
I didn't know what we were doing for food later, so.
No, just, either I'll bring some cheese, cracker, like whatever. If I have to go grab crackers or something, whatever. Like, do you still have pancakes mix?
I don't think so. I'll have to look. I don't think so, though, no.
Look, because I thought I gave you a whole entire box of it one day.
Okay.
Well, because, I mean, I'm not going to eat in the morning, but she might, she shouldn't really get full, but I don't know what time Nikki's is. And if by chance Jonathan's not there tomorrow, don't ask where John is.
Why, they're fighting that bad?
I mean, I'm not saying what's going on. They might be getting a divorce, so I don't know.
Why? What happened?
I don't know.
You must know something. What? Something happened. What, did someone cheat?
I didn't ask any questions.
So someone cheated. Someone cheated.
No one cheated, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
How do you know no one cheated if you don't know what's going on? It's got to be something that serious if they're going to divorce.
Again, I don't know.
And, Nikki makes big money with that TikTok shit you make it sound like, so that's big too, obviously.
She makes big fucking money,
yeah, so that's like...
I never even imagined her making...
Yes, so this is what I'm saying, like, her independence is... She's independent, like, she don't got to put up with anything she really don't want to.
She's really struggling with this, so, like, just don't bring it up.
Why would I be? What happened, though? Something must have happened. Well, you can't tell me?
You got a big mouth.
Who do I talk to? What the fuck do you mean? Your parents were going to tell me the other day. They were just like, we can't tell you right now. In the store, there's too many people here. I said, oh, yeah, fair enough. There are too many people around.
I don't know exactly. There was accusations that Nikki was hooking up with the neighbor.
Oh. It's true?
Honestly, I don't know. I did not ask her. When she came over the other night, she was falling apart. It doesn't matter if she cheated or not. None of that matters to me. I like John. He's my niece's father. I still want to keep a decent, because,
Yeah, relationship. He's going to be around one way or the other. But, I mean, if she cheated, that is fucked up. I feel bad for John.
Listen, listen.
Why not just have, I just don't understand, why not have John get involved with it?
Listen, John's not into that.
Does she hang out with the neighbors, frequently?
I guess the neighbors go out to dinner, and I guess the reason why he started thinking it was weird is the wife hit on him and was trying to hook up with him, and he got all weirded out, went upstairs and went to bed. And then when he woke up in the morning, he's like, why would my wife not be upset that the neighbor's wife tried to...
Yeah, so he started asking questions.
No, he went... he started watching her for a month or two and watching things, and I don't know, and then...
And then he was convinced then.
Well, I think he got a hold of her phone and went through the trash.
Oh, yeah, so something happened. That sucks.
Again, these are all... I have not asked anyone what is true or what is not true. It's not my business.
No, but I mean, if you don't, the fight doesn't carry on this long if nothing happened. You don't talk about getting divorced if nothing happened.
But also, that's the other thing. If she did what they said, if she did what he thinks she did, the three of them are all denying it. So, if that happened and you were willing to work through it, you'd want the truth, right?
Yeah.
And she's denying it, so I don't know.
Which obviously no one would know if it's the truth or not. And obviously more than likely they all would deny it just because the nature of it's pretty embarrassing.
Fucking disgusting pig. I can't stand this fucking girl. I gotta get the fuck out of this apartment.
I'll move back home.
That's not happening.
You can. I swear.
No, I
All
appreciate
right.
that.
It's okay.
All right, bye.
You give it up. I gotta, Jesus, see if I gotta stop shit, pause the stream, and Angela calls. She drops all types of bombs. Holy shit. I have to, yeah, I gotta go take care of this shit. When my daughter comes soon, finish cleaning the kitchen, and a few more things, and we Gucci. We Gucci. Alright, yeah, that's it. Alright, see you fucking soon.